And thank you for joining us today. I am Amy Marquez. I'm with the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce. We thank you all for joining us. We have a great lineup for everybody today, so some new tips and tricks hopefully we'll get out of this, out of their toolboxes. So the Chamber understands how difficult business has been last few weeks. And so we know that as there has been, businesses have been impacted, employees have been impacted, customers have been impacted. So today we hope to have some time to visit with these business owners or operators and learn what they're doing to keep up with their customers. So we'll have some time for questions at the end. So we ask that you keep yourself muted. You're more than welcome to leave your video on, but we do ask that you keep yourself muted. If you do have a question for any of our guests, please put that into the chat portion on the side of your screen. And if you have a question for one specific guest, please let us know who that guest is so we can ask that specifically. And we will ask those questions towards the end. So again, just keep yourselves muted and we will get started. Please help me welcome our first guest, Dylan Moore. Dylan is the sales director of Pecan Ridge. Good afternoon, Dylan. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Pecan Ridge, please?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. I cannot tell you how much of an opportunity this is for us. The Chamber has helped us out in so many ways over the past month and even before this. So thank you very, very much. Pecan Ridge, as most of y'all know, is Lubbock's favorite independent pecan sheller and gift store since 1995. Our gift store features everyone local. So if you're looking for a local Lubbock gift or a souvenir that says Lubbock on it, Pecan Ridge is the place to go. It's been around since 1995, about 25 years, August 1st. I came around when Chris brought me on. He took over December 27th of 2018, and I joined 2 days after him, and it has been an absolute whirlwind ever since.
Thank you so much for that, Dylan. We're going to watch a quick video for Pecan Ridge.
Guess where I'm at?
That's great. Thank you so much, Dylan. Thank you for being with us again. Now, help me welcome Erica Diamond. Erica is the owner of Play Street Museum. Erica, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and Play Street Museum, please?
All right. So we started Play Street Museum here in Lubbock in Labor Day of last year. So we've been open a little less than a year now. We are a franchise, actually. So I visited a Play Street Museum with my family in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, fell in love with the concept, and then recently found out a couple years back that they were franchising. At the time, we lived in Fort Worth, but I am from Lubbock, have roots in Lubbock and all my family, and thought that Lubbock would be a great place for a Play Street Museum, and there was nothing quite like it. So it has been a lot of fun, very well received by the community, and little halt in everything recently, but we're still trucking along and having fun with it. So we are just like an open play during the day and on the weekends, birthday parties and special events. So we've had a lot of fun with it. I come from an advertising background and worked advertising agencies, client-side advertising, marketing at the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. So came from marketing on the museum side of things as well. Own another business that is completely different to this. So franchise aspect kind of interested in us to not have to build something from the ground up, kind of have a template to follow and something that was an established business model. So here we are, and I'll let the video show a little bit more about it. Special events, private parties, and open play are all opportunities where your little ones can discover, imagine, and explore at Play Street Museum. Watch your child's imagination come alive as they navigate through Play Street's town square, designed for learning through play.
No, that's great. Looks like so much fun. Thank you, Erica, again for being with us. Let's welcome Kerry Mayfield. Kerry is the owner of Tierras Planas Roasters. Tell us about Tierras Planas Roasters and yourself, Kerry.
Hey, Amy, thank you for having these group calls and seminars. The way they've helped out quite a bit in the last few weeks, at least keeping us in contact and face-to-face with each other. A lot of things that we've missed out over the last 6+ weeks. So Tierras Planas Roasters was started in 2008, my wife and I, as a side gig to the career that I was in, wholly or mostly as a part in a search for me to find a better cup of coffee for me at the office. As we started going and started roasting more and more, we realized that there was something there and started trying to sell, and hey, you know what, it sold well and expanded and expanded. So we've gone from just coffee for me at the house and me at the office and then some friends to supplying coffee into 4 coffee shops in this region, a couple of different restaurants and clubs, and then also fairly decent and growing retail sales. Our coffees are sourced from around the world to highlight coffee growing regions that may or may not be seen, may or may not be known previously, and to bring a different cup to everybody, as we recognize that everybody has a different palate and a different level of experience with coffee and what they want to have. So we go from basic all the way up through what would be considered exotic.
Now we'll watch a video, please. Those were some great intros. Thank you so much again for being with us and all of our attendees as well. We're going to have a few moderated questions. As I mentioned, we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So if you'll submit those just via the chat box on the side, just to everyone, we'll get those questions asked. Okay, with our first question, how has your business changed since the end of March? Walk us through one of your work days and how that differs from pre-COVID-19.
Well, for us personally, well, I like to call Pecan Ridge the everywhere, anywhere Lubbock company. Is it about Lubbock? Is it happening in Lubbock? Did it come from Lubbock? Then we want to be there. So when everything shut down, that was, I'll be honest, for a couple of days, it was kind of like, what are we going to do? Because that's kind of the air and water we breathe by. But then we kind of realized that there wasn't so much mission that we had to change or what we do, because what we do is we celebrate Lubbock entrepreneurs and share their stories. And just because we can't go around to every individual business doesn't mean that we can't do that on Facebook, on Instagram, and elsewhere. So we just kind of really dug into what our mission was and still continuing to do that, but just in an online setting. Of course, hello, gift shop, that's kind of one of the things you think of being the first thing off the list. But I kind of thought of it differently because now more than ever, you needed someone to deliver a smile or just a way of saying, hey, someone's out there, to that person you knew was feeling alone or isolated. So that was another area I thought we could step up as well. So it was just kind of transitioning from being everywhere all the time company to being online focused and still sharing the entrepreneurial stories and still doing what we do, but just doing it in a safer setting. What about you, Erica?
So I'm with you. It was just kind of a change of a mindset for us. We on a weekday we're open 9 to 5 for kids to play, and people just come in and play, and then screech, that completely stops. So there's no way kids can be in here safely playing. So our doors shut. We have a small retail area, and I've never put a lot of focus into the retail. It's just kind of there that people, at Christmas time, people buy gifts or birthday parties or what have you, but I've never put a whole lot of focus or emphasis on it. I shifted my mindset to what do people love about Play Street and what experience do they come here for? They come here to have fun, to learn through play. And so I'm thinking, how can we bring that to them? So one of the things we really started doing was putting a huge emphasis on our retail items and making kits. So we made tons of craft kits. At Easter time, we had Easter eggs that kids can paint. We have slime to go kits. We have paint on canvas kits. We have a garden kit right now with, potting soil, all the things that number one, people can't readily just like go out and buy all the supplies because they're stuck at home. So it's super convenient, all right there for them. And parents are looking for an experience with their child, something to do with them. And again, like you said, Dylan, kind of bring a smile to somebody. What's going to make them happy, both the parent and the child? What can they do together? They're looking for something to do. So we really shifted our mindset into retail and kind of bringing a Play Street experience to them. On a typical day, instead of being 9 to 5, some days I was here all day long. I mean, I was here till midnight. Some nights we put together Easter baskets. Again, that was one of those things that people they can't just run out to all their favorite stores and put together an Easter basket. So I have all this retail product here, and people would tell me their kids' age and, gender and like kind of what they like. And I put together Easter baskets. So I'm up here, putting all these things together, which really fueled me and like brought me joy too, to kind of get through this crazy time period. But it was really just kind of a shift in mindset. And then we, more consistently now we're just open 9 to noon for retail items. We were only curbside pickup, and now our doors are open in the retail section. So it's quite different than what we used to be. But that's kind of how we've seen a shift, definitely since March. I will say too, not to talk too long, since it was quite a shift, we kind of had to rethink our operations. So we weren't really set up for online purchasing. We ended up using our ticket purchasing system to actually sell some of our retail items. And from a corporate level, we are kind of restructuring things to actually have online purchasing for retail too. So we put a lot of things into place that I think we'll see into the future that will benefit us. So I'm trying to see this as a positive as we might have like a new line of business, that was very small piece of what we did previously. So, and then I'll pass it over to Kerry.
Yeah, so we were having a lot of fun through the beginning of this year, and it was just a rocking and rolling year. Our business has 2 levels of sales. We have a wholesale side and a retail side, and come mid-March, our retail side came to a screeching halt. It wasn't a pump the brakes, it was put on the brakes and we're leaving skid marks. And so we were left going, okay, what's going to happen? And as we did this and we kept contact and kept going with our customers, they made adjustments, our wholesale customers, they made adjustments to their plans and what they had to do and how they had to operate. And then at the same time, as people started being more and more and more at home, we started noticing more and more sales. And so as Dylan mentioned, we became those people that are putting things on your porch. So every now and then you catch a customer as you're ringing a doorbell, trying to get away, trying to maintain social distancing, and they open the door. Last 2 weeks ago, I had one open the door as I was putting a box on his porch. Scared both of us to death. Neither one of us was expecting it, but it was that beacon of, hey, we get to see somebody else. We get to see somebody out there doing that. And so shifting more from a come pick up at the farmer's market on Saturday to how can I service you as my customer, as this individual that's ordering a pound of coffee or 2 pounds of coffee or 20 pounds of coffee? How can I get it to you as fast as I can? So some of our methodology is all the same, but when we do it has changed. So to accommodate some of those increases of orders, to the point that looking at and going, okay, do we keep this going forward after, or whatever our new normal becomes? I'm going to say after, thinking that maybe it goes back, but I think we're just going to have a new normal. And then going, how can we bring another level of service to them? What other products does the family need that is not all coffee drinkers? What else can we bring to them? And so looking at lots of different options that we can do, unfortunately, that aren't immediate. We can't just drop and do that. And so just moving on, a couple things slow, a couple things were immediate. One of the biggest things that we had to change on our retail side at the farmers market, which has operated face to face through this entire thing out at Wolford, we had to adjust how we interact with people. And we had to help our customers learn how to accept those adjustments. So whereas prior to COVID-19, we had pots of coffee out there and somebody could walk up and they could just grab a cup. Immediately it was turn those around and restrict who has access to them. Everything is handed out. Everything is monitored. No more refillable cups for us going through things. And so customers are starting to understand that now. They come and they take a cup from us and we watch them throw it in the trash can, but we can't take that cup from the customer to fill up. So it's been an interesting change for us, watching how we had to change, but then also watching how our customers had to change also, and which customers were leading the way on some of the wholesale customers, and which customers in our retail side we've had to kind of nudge several times of, hey, this is how we have to do things now, and do it lovingly because we love all of our customers.
Wow, great stories. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. Thank you so much again for answering that one. You and your employees have been impacted by the pandemic. What have you done to ensure your business has stayed relevant to your customers? And how does social media play into this?
All right, I'll start off here. I think I touched on it a little bit previously, but one of the big things that we wanted to do was making sure that we were meeting customers and what did they want from Play Street. And so that's where kind of the kits came into play and some of our retail items. The social media has played a big part in getting the word out. And, you know, I think it's important because it's so quick. You can get your message out there in just a second, and it spreads really well. So I've just been really blown away about the community of Lubbock and our Facebook following. And, you know, before we opened, we would do some paid social media and Facebook and trying to get more views and build our audience and things like that. I have not done anything paid in any COVID-19, and some of our engagement has been the highest we've ever seen. And it's just because the customers are sharing the information, they're commenting on it, they're sharing their photos of what they've done with their kits and things like that. So social media has been so huge for us because it just takes our network and it expands it that much further. So we had so many people come in who, like for Easter Baskets, for example, have said, "Oh, I've never been there before. I just heard this from a friend," that kind of thing. So not only are we reaching our customer who follows us, but so much more than that. So social media has been a huge thing for us. I would say we didn't do a lot of Facebook stories prior to probably this time period. So we're using more stories to just kind of make things come alive a little bit more. It's not just a picture, it's not just a quick video. We can talk, we can explain things, we can show and do, and so people can kind of get a better feel for it since they can't be here in person and feel it for themselves and see it for themselves. So I think the stories have been a good thing for us as well. But really, as far as social media goes, we've only used Facebook. Our corporate has the Instagram, account. So they operate that from a corporate level. So we do not have our own Instagram, but Facebook has really given us, I don't want to say it's the end all be all, but it's really done a wonder for us as far as being able to reach customers and get our message out there. And, you know, even things like when we closed down earlier than say the Science Spectrum and some other businesses like us, just because we felt like that's what we needed to do. So just getting the message out there about kind of we're open or we're closed or we're doing curbside and that kind of thing. So customers know what to expect, what kind of experience they're going to have with us. So and then I think that is it for me. So Kerry.
Yep. So one of the things that about me is I really don't like talking in front of microphones and talking in front of cameras. And so it really takes me outside of a comfort area, even though I've done it quite a few times and so forth. And in my business, the first part of the question is about employees and everybody. So we're a one-man game. I had one employee that was coming in right at the beginning, and we've had to scale him back some, but keeping social media going through this, as Erica said, is very important. It really gets your message out there. We've seen larger involvements and larger interactions on our posts that happen every day. We've seen larger interactions on posts that are just random. See something and say, hey, we're going to do this. In addition, the one thing that I've been coached on and I've been fighting is doing Facebook Lives. And my mind just locks up whenever I get to there. And when I go past that lock, end up with a lot of engagement on it. And so we've done several Facebook Lives where we're brewing different coffees. We're walking through the market. We're doing different things, trying to not necessarily highlight us, but highlight others that are around us, especially if there are others around us. So that's one of the biggest things that we've done is I heard it, Amy put it last 2 weeks ago when she was on, I think it's 2 weeks, that give them more. Everybody's at the house, everybody's locked in, everybody's craving something. And so that's what we've tried to do. I haven't done it to the point of another person on this panel has, but he's the model to emulate on some of that, absolutely for sure. But yeah, definitely just giving them more and trying to keep everything that we're giving to them relevant to something around them. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously, like Kerry kind of hinted, social media is a huge part of what we do. And in terms of the part of the question that said, what have you done to make sure your business stays relevant? That was actually one of my top line concerns. I was concerned that Pecan Ridge wouldn't be relevant to the current market conditions just because of everything of what we do. So we kind of shifted our focus. Instead of being like a retail space with a really kick butt blog, Facebook, we kind of transitioned to more of a blog that, also we have this really kick butt retail space because people are at home. They were kind of not feeling the best. And let's be honest, guys, everyone was on Facebook. They wanted content, but they didn't want to be reminded of COVID. They wanted something funny. They wanted a cute picture of a dog. They wanted anything that wasn't the current situation. And so for us, that actually played right into our hand because with our collaborations, especially like with what we did with Tierras Planas, the first to 2K challenge or whatever, people are absolutely looking for something like that. Just something fun that is like reminds people that yes, people are still trying. Yes, the human spirit is still there. And, we don't have to focus on COVID-19 24/7. So social media has been an absolutely huge part of what we do. And it will continue to be so. I couldn't imagine having done anything that we have at Pecan Ridge without the use of social media. And it's played an absolutely influential role.
That's great. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, next one. What has been the biggest eye-opening experience that has happened to you personally or your business in the last month? And how has this helped or changed your business?
Amy, there's quite a few of them that happened when it first hit, when COVID first hit. in the US, I looked at it and went, oh no. I think the biggest one that happened personally is having to deal with and communicate with those, and there may be some on here, and if I step on toes, I'm sorry, but that are naysayers about what COVID-19 is and the steps that we've had to take with the presence of this situation and this virus that we have. My background is science, and there's times when there's data and there's data and there's data, and then there's times where there's trust, 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 and sometimes having to open up and maintain those lines of communication on a friend level, on a business level, and even for me on a familial level, with those that believe one thing versus another, and those that are very open about one side that are other. Everybody was affected by this thing, and so that is probably one of the biggest things that I've had to experience personally for me, and opened up how I communicate with people and how I have to scale back some of my opinions and maybe not be as loud unless I need to be loud about something out there. It's the entire situation that we've been in has been terrible, and everybody's working the best that we can to get through it. So I'm gonna let Dylan elaborate a little bit more.
That was actually a really very deep, interesting answer right there. For us, honestly, it's kind of like a silver lining. It's the fact that brick and mortar really isn't dead. I know that there's a lot of talk about that, but just because like Macy's and the big box stores can't make it work, I don't think is not because it doesn't work. I think it's because the brick and mortar customer is actually looking for more of a shop local experience. The brick and mortar customer doesn't care about getting the best price right then, because they can get the best price from 35 different places. They want the brick and mortar experience because they want the local experience of meeting someone like Kerry and seeing all the wizardry that goes behind the coffee and meeting the brains behind everything and really getting that one of a kind experience. So I think that's been the most eye-opening thing for me, is that brick and mortar isn't dead. It's just that the brick and mortar customer has changed to more of a shop local type environment. What about yourself, Erica?
You just gave me chills when you said brick and mortar isn't dead. I love that. I think that was really my biggest thing in this whole thing was just our customer interaction. Like, you would think that with being closed, we're not going to have any interaction with customers, but every message we got from social media, every person's car I delivered something to, I feel so much more connected with each of my customers that it's really a very cool thing that there's been so much connection in the midst of all this. It's just been kind of a crazy ordeal and really cool to see. And I'll say, I said that we're a franchise network, and I've met with many of the other franchise owners of Play Street Museums, and they're like, what are you doing? How are you selling out of all of these kits? What is it that you're doing, and how are you getting that? And I think it's just really pulling in the community and making sure that it's kind of like we're in this together. And people were thanking me like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, I'm so excited. I'm forever grateful because we're helping pay rent by the things that people are buying. So I think it's just looking at it as we're all in this together. We're a community, and just kind of the interaction and what we're sharing through this all has been very eye-opening to me. And then as far as how it was changed our business structure, I touched on it before, but retail was very little of what we did before, and I think we're going to implement a lot more of that as far as like kits and things to go. I think things will change in the future. People might be, having not as big parties and maybe something more intimate, and different things like that. So I think, offering special personalized gifts and to-go projects and things like that is something that we'll definitely implement in the future.
That's great. What's the age range on those two? Because some of them sound kind of fun.
So we're mostly between the ages of, what we offered, we're about 1 to 8. But we're trying to, a lot of them can be kind of tailored, like our garden kit right now. Really, I mean, kids to a much older age can enjoy that. We're about to do a toolkit that you can cut with cardboard, like a saw and screws and stuff. So I think we'll cater to older kids. So we recognize that every kid is at home right now, and so we're kind of expanding our age range a little bit as far as our to-go kits go.
That's great. Thank you. All right. Okay, so let's move on to our next question. How is your business impacted by certain other businesses being able to open and accommodate 25% of their potential occupancy? If you were able to open at 25% occupancy, have you chosen to do so?
We chose to open up on Monday to the 25% occupancy rule. So if y'all want to get anything from Lubbock's favorite gift store, feel free to stop by because we can help you out. But in terms of the other businesses being able to open it, honestly, it's absolutely destroyed one of our revenue streams because pop-ups, event spaces, being an event space, and also restaurants, because we also do have a very robust wholesale side. So that's 3 different sources of income for us that were kind of put to revenue zero, like very, very fast. So that hurt us. That definitely hurt us. But thankfully, with being able to open, hopefully the restaurants are starting to pick back up and stuff like that, and we'll be able to see. We'll be able to get a lot of that revenue back. But right now, yeah, it has hurt us a lot.
We are not open for open play, which is our general main revenue source during the weekdays, and also birthday parties are a very big revenue source for us, and so we can't do that on the weekends yet. Museums can be open right now, but high touch museums are to remain closed, and we feel like that's the right thing to do right now. So I actually plan to send out a survey to our customers probably in the next couple of days, because what I really want to know is, what do customers feel about coming back? Kerry, as you mentioned, there are polar opposites opinions. There are facts out there, but there are polar opposites. Some people think it's absolutely not right to be out and about, and some people think, let's go, let's do this. Since we are so hands-on and you can't really social distance 3-year-olds, we have to be very careful in the space that we're in. And so we definitely will be taking all the measures to be very careful. But I plan to send out a poll that actually I've already got done. I just wanted people to kind of get in the community for about a week once some Lubbock businesses opened up, and then kind of get a beat on, are people going to come? Because to me, I feel like, we could potentially lose money if I staff the museum for the whole day and customers aren't ready to come back. So I'll be looking to our customers to just kind of get a feel for when do they feel ready to come back, and how do they feel?
And a large portion of our business was wholesale going into shops, and the coffee shops themselves were able to pivot and offer curbside or have a drive-through. They maintained some level of operation. Some of them at a reduced level. Some of them were actually opening and I have 2 customers that opened shop in the middle of this, and were able to start to build their business that way. As they've opened up, I've seen a larger revenue from them, but not to the point where it is. And so that's going to take time for it to build back up. And from that, it's more of a situation where I'm looking and continuing to go out and try to find people during that, find new customers during that, to help offset some of the losses, not the losses, but lack of revenue that we're having because of that. So how is it helping our business? We are increasing our production to accommodate their larger needs, but their larger needs aren't where they're at. So it's a catch-22. And Erica, you touched on it, that are you losing money by opening versus staying closed? And so there's a couple of customers out there that are weighing that as well. Do I go ahead and change and open the dining room back up, or do I keep it closed and just keep a curbside service going at the current level until we can have a larger seating area. So it's definitely a catch-22 for those customers.
Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to go to our final question. What advice do you have for your fellow business owners or operators who are looking to keep their customers connected to their business now and post COVID-19?
I would just say to think about, what do customers love about your business? What connected them to your business in the first place, and try to offer that experience to them. So I kind of touched on how we've been offering that from afar, but just continue to think, why do they love your business? Why did they connect with you in the first place? Get creative and try to find a way to continue to offering that to your customers.
And that's exactly what I was thinking, is what was it about your business that brought them to you? What was the connection that you made with them? Continue that connection. At the same time, what worked in this time frame? What adjustment? And then looking at that going forward, is that need to be maintained, or is that just a temporary adjustment that you have? What is the customer response? And then is that an operational change that happened? And how feasible is that change for the long term? And sometimes it's feasible, and sometimes it's a change that you just had to do to maintain right now. But the bigger thing is maintaining connection with your customer, and those, especially those that you're on a personal level with, maintaining that personal connection and offering that side of you to them, because I think they really respond to a trueness that they can sense in you. If they don't sense that trueness, then yeah, they're going to be there, but then they might find somebody else's best just as well. Thoughts, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, like, absolutely what you guys said. I definitely want to ditto mark everything you guys just said, for sure. I mean, that is absolutely key. The authenticity and just knowing why your brand exists and why people fell in love with it in the first place. Just kind of putting that into practice. I'll be honest, guys, the entire town is on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, you're losing so much money, and you're doing your business a serious disservice, though. Like, honestly, I mean, you can make 100 cold calls, or you can have a post and have one person share it, because if one person shares your post, that means an average of 100 people saw it. How much work is it to just post something on Facebook? I go to some people's Facebook pages, and I don't mean to be demeaning, but they haven't posted for like months or weeks. And that just tells your customers that you aren't there. So if you want to stay relevant to your customers, seriously, and especially in Lubbock, you need to be on Facebook, and you need to post regularly.
Absolutely. Some great advice there, guys. Thank you so much. It certainly is some unprecedented times that we're living in, isn't it? It's just crazy. Again, we appreciate all of you for being here today. We do have some time for questions. So if you have a question, I know we have one that has come through. So if we do have a question for a specific business, please state that. Or if you do have a question for just the general guest that's with us today, you could do that as well. Put that into the chat screen on the side of the Zoom panel. So I'll turn it over to Rachel McMillan with the Chamber of Commerce, and she'll proceed with the question that we have.
Hi, everybody. I apologize. My internet's a little bit spotty, so if you can't hear me, I apologize. This question that we got is specifically for Erica and Play Street Museum. Do you guys have any sensory times for those with sensory issues or other disabilities?
That is a great question. We have never done that before, but Play Street does have a specific sensory friendly, I'm not using the proper word, event. So was that from Chelsea? Did I see that question pop up?
Was not. Yes, I'm on the call.
I thought I saw you.
It was from Mike Lambert.
Oh, okay.
No, but it is a good question.
Okay. I saw a message pop up from you. So anyways, we can certainly look into that once we can start having events on the weekends and put something like that into play.
That's great. Good deal. Okay, well, we don't have any other questions at this time. So if we don't have any questions, then thank you guys. Do either of you have anything else that you wanted to say, or something you may have missed mentioning answering one of the questions, or is everybody good?
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for your support. Like, seriously, Pecan Ridge could not do it without each and every one of y'all, like, liking, loving, and sharing. And I know that sounds stupid, but it really does mean a lot to us. So thank you guys for everything you are doing to make Pecan Ridge successful. It means so much to my team. It means so much to us. Just thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you for being with us, Dylan. Kerry as well, Erica, thank you so much. At this time, Dylan is going to give something away from Pecan Ridge. So he's going to share it right now. So that's, oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, I'm going to put my name for that too, even though I can't win. That's awesome. Okay, good deal. So what I need you to do right now is in the chat portion and send this to everyone. If you will leave your name and your cell phone number, we will get those over to Dylan, and he will draw a name, and we will announce it on the Facebook event that was created for today's event. And then he will contact you if you've won. And yes, wow. Okay, we got one that's come through. They're coming to starting to come through now. So we'll give that a couple of seconds so everybody can get their name in and their cell phone numbers, so you can be entered to win that wonderful wine glass. And we thank all of you for being with us today. If you have not had a chance yet, please visit a new website that we have, and it is In This Together, LBK. It's a great resource site for recovery. There's some PPE links on there for you to be able to purchase things if you need them when you're opening your business back up again, or if you have not yet already gotten them or looking for them. And there's it's just a great treasure trove of resources for the recovery phase of this pandemic. So with that, please visit our website as well, the LubbockChamber.com or LubbockChamber.com. You can find all of our upcoming webinars that we have. We've got at least 4 to 6 a week that we do, so there's something for everybody. So please tune into those whenever your time and your schedule permits you to do so. So with that, again, Dylan, Kerry, Erica, thank you so much for being with us today. Just get out there, keep on doing what you're doing. And if you need to contact any of these guys, let me know and we can shoot over their information to you. But everybody needs pecans in their lives. Everybody needs to play at some time, and everybody has to have coffee.
Pecans are big. Yes.
That's great. You guys have been great today. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our attendees. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.